Atinye kamangunet ale imite komye eng olda tugul ole mitei ako atochin eng logoiwekab emet anan tetutiet noton nebo Kass Mashinani nebo betutab raini no mite tuwai kwane Bernard Tanoe. Manche kibengeitab konetik nebo NAT ketes melekwokik chekiliponjini konetikab emoni eng kebeberta 60 eng 100 kondochin sirindet neo Esbon Omolo kokamwa kandoikab kibengeinoto kole tetat koit let eng kokesunetab kei nebo arawani koshinetab CBA nekinde siyet ichek ak serikali ole kamwa kole tindoi kamangunet neo kole kiteshin melekwokik konetik eng CBA nelel noto kisirchi eng kenyini kangalalsot icheket eng komasta nebo Ndia eng ole kaesho kora kakwautiet nebo keisto melekwokik chenootin kou hardship allowance chekocham kikochini konetik eng komoswek cheterter chebo emet.
Tumeweka proposal yetu kwa mwajiri wetu Teacher Service Commission, na tumesema katika hiyo cycle kulingana na uchumi wa Kenya ilivoko sasa, tunaona kuwa walimu wakipata nyongeza katika mishahara yao ya 60% itakuwa mzuri. Sawa sawa? Asilimia ngapi? 60. Hiyo ndio tunaitisha kutoka kwa mwajiri. Tunajua hiyo proposal imeenda kwa Salaries and Remuneration Commission, na tunaambia hiyo commission wafanye hala ili inapofika June mwisho tuwe tumekamilisha hiyo mambo ya CBA. Katika allowances zote tuna house allowance, commuter allowance, medical allowance, zile allowance zinaenda extraneous allowance ambazo ziko katika salaries ya mwalimu. Tunasema hizo allowance zote ziongezwe at 30% ili mwalimu aweze kujikimu kimaisha. Hata hardship ambaye chairman amesema hapa serikali inajaribu kukatiza sehemu zingine, tunasema waguze hardship allowance, wataona walimu wakijitokeza kutetea wenzao ambao wanaenjoy hardship allowance, wasiguze hiyo pesa. Kwa hivyo hiyo yote tunaweka pale, tunasema 60% salary increment, 30% kwa allowances zote ambazo walimu wanastahili kupata. Capitation, kuna shule ambazo zilipata shilingi 87 capitation ya free primary education. Kuna wale walipata 4,000. Wewe ukiwa head teacher ukipata hiyo pesa, unaweza kuendeleza masomo kwa shule kweli? Tunaambia serikali wacheni mchezo na watoto wetu nchini Kenya. Wapewe pesa ili masomo iendelee. Ile tunajua first term inastahili kuwa 50% ambayo haikufika hata last year. Second term inastahili kuwa 30%. Na third term inastahili kuwa 20%. Hiyo pesa serikali lazima ihakikishe imetolewa kwa viwango ambavyo vinastahili. Kama ni NEMIS ambayo wanatumia, ambayo inafanya shule inapata pesa ambazo hazitoshi, sasa wameenda kwa KEMIS inaanza kazi Julai. Wahakikishe upungufu wa shule zote pesa imepatikana na masomo inaendelea vilivyo. Na hata pesa katika bajeti, my chairman ameongea hapa, amesema mambo ya bajeti, akasema pesa ya walimu iweko na pesa ya masomo. Tunasema hata pesa ya mitihani ya assessment ambayo haikuwa imewekwa wakati ule, wahakikisha wameweka pesa kwa National Examination Council.
Kongeba kwe county noton nebo Bomet ole kinyoru logoiwek kotinygei ak kesit netinyegei ak speakers chebo county assembly nebo Nyamira ole kakokon tilet kapkirwok neo nebo Bomet akobo kirwoket netinyegei ak terchinet nekibit eng county assembly nebo Nyamira ole kikisto eng boisiet speaker nebo county assembly nebo Nyamira Enoch Okariogori eng mwaet kole mae imanda eng petition nebo keisto governor nebo county noto Amos Nyaribo kosubkei ak tilet nekakon kirwogindet nebo kapkirwok eng Bomet Honorable Justice Julius Ngarngar ko kero ko kikisub ng'atutik eng istoetab Okero ole koibor nito kole speaker nebo Nyamira County Assembly ko Thaddeus Nyabaro. Koistoetab Okero ko speaker nebo County Assembly ko kimng'em boisietab County Assembly nebo Nyamira ole kitoi Okero Assembly nenyi nekuren Bunge Mashinani, kit nekiyai kobit assemblies oeng'u chebo county nebo Nyamira. Ko kounoto ko ngekas ole kou kirwokonoto eng kapkirwok noto nebo Bomet.
However, in my judgment, analyzed each of the petitions and the judicial review application, but coming up with the final orders, which will be this one judgment. The issues for determination are: one, whether the seventh respondent ceased to hold office. Number two is what is the legal implication of the actions taken by the seventh respondent post 24th October 2024. Number three, whether it is the duty of this court to determine the Speaker of Nyamira County Assembly. And finally, who bears the cost of this consolidated petition. On the first issue, I have considered the arguments on interpretation by all the parties, and I have also taken into account the major ground relied by the third petitioner, that is Edwin Onchoko, on the existence of a conservatory orders barring the impeachment of the seventh respondent, Enoch Okero Ogori. And having perused the court orders issued on 11th of October 2024 by Onkwanyi J, and specifically orders 2 and 3, which were granted, the said orders address the issue of the resolution passed by the County Assembly of Nyamira touching on suspension of the seventh respondent on 8th of October 2024. These orders did not in any way bar the County Assembly of Nyamira from exercising its constitutional mandate, which is not limited to impeachment of the seventh respondent. Indeed, from the pleadings and the submissions of all parties and analysis of this matter, it is generally agreed that the seventh respondent was impeached on 24th of October 2024. It is then clear that the seventh respondent ceased to hold office on 24th October 2024. Issue number 2. Flowing from the issue number 1 above, it then follows naturally that all the actions done by the seventh respondent post 2024, October 2024, were null and void for want of legal standing. On issue number 3, from the pleadings, it is apparent that the first interested party, Thaddeus Nyabaro, was elected on 19th of December 2024 as a speaker for the County Assembly of Nyamira. This process is well captured under the first schedule of the Elections Act, Cap 7 of the laws of Kenya. The only remaining part from the evidence adduced was his gazettement as a speaker. It is not the duty of this court to curtail or interfere with the constitutional mandate of other constitutional bodies or arms of government, and as such, the court can only question the process thereafter. At this point in time, this court is guided by the principle of judicial restraint, as stated in the Supreme Court cases, that is the Speaker of the Senate and another, as the Attorney General and another, the Law Society and 2 others, the 2013 case, which is also 2017 Kenya Law Reports. This is an area that the court will exercise its restraint and leave it to the County Assembly of Nyamira to determine its speaker upon completing the laid down procedure. On issue number 4, this being a public interest matter, I do order that each party will bear their own costs. In conclusion, the court issues the following final orders in respect to all the 3 matters as consolidated. 1, that Bomet petition number E005 of 2025 is dismissed. 2, a declaration be and is hereby issued that the Daily Nation newspaper advertisement published on the 11th March 2025, captioned Public Participation on Nyamira County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2025-2026, inviting members of the public and all the stakeholders to a public participation forum and submissions of the memoranda and the subsequent exercise is illegal, null and void. Number 3, an order of judicial review by way of mandamus to issue compelling the second and third respondent to present and submit the county fiscal paper CFSP to the second petitioner through its bona fide clerk of the Nyamira County Assembly, Honorable Duke Onyari, for purpose of making recommendations, consideration and approval of the county fiscal strategy paper 2025-2026 as part of the budget making process. Number 4, an order of certiorari is granted quashing Gazette notices number 14229 of 2024, 14230 of 2024, and 14273 of 2024, dated 29th October 2024, 26th October 2024, and 30th October 2024, respectively. And finally, each party to bear their own costs. These proceedings, certified copy of the proceedings and this judgment be supplied to the parties.
Ketesetai ko kakokimit MP noton nebo Ndia George Kariuki kole maiyoni MPs chebo emoni kisipto legutab NGCDF kotelelchi serikalishekab county kong'ololi yekangondochini yatetab projects cheterter chebo somanet eng constituency noton nebo Ndia. Komwa Kariuki kole kikoyai boisiet neo legutab NCDF eng kanabtaitab somanet ako notok komaiyoni MPs kerebe legunoto amu imuchi kotelelso tetutikab somanet eng constituencies chebo emoni angot kisipto legunoto kotelelchi serikalishekab county.
Nafikiria mtakubaliana nanyi ya kwamba hii fund inatakiwa vile tulikuja hapa juzi kufanya public participation. Hii fund inatakiwa iwe kwa katiba yetu. Ndio kuje mtu anaitaka ama haitaki, kuwe na serikali inataka CDF ama serikali haipata CDF iendelee mbele ndio tuweze kusaidia watoto wetu. Wazazi mnasema CDF iendelee ama CDF iishe? Kwa projects na kwa basari kusaidia watoto wenye wazazi wamelemewa na mzigo ya masomo. Tumetumia kila mtoto Kenya shillings 90,000 kwa miaka 7. Kama tungewaambia nyinyi wazazi kila mzazi atolee mtoto pesa, tungekuwa sasa tunawadai karibu 1,100, kwa sababu tunajua mko na mzigo na si ya masomo peke yake, mko na mzigo ya maisha. Mambo ya maisha mnasukumana nayo kwa njia zingine. Ndio sababu serikali inaendelea kutusaidia kwa mambo ya masomo kupitia NGCDF. Na mimi nataka kushukuru Rais hapa siku ya leo kwa sababu wakati tulikuwa tunafanya siasa 2022 alituambia yeye alikuwa MP wakati wa CDF, na kama sio CDF hangeweza kusaidia watu wake vile aliwasaidia akiwa MP, na akatuahidi sisi wajumbe ya kwamba atahakikisha hii pesa ya CDF inaendelea kuwafikia nyinyi, na jukumu sasa ni sisi MPs, mimi nikiwa mmoja wao. Tuendelee kuangalia hii pesa, kutumia hii pesa na kuoversight hii pesa kwa njia ifaayo. Kwa hivyo hakuna mahali MP ana sign. Kazi ya MP ni kupeana oversight na kupeana leadership, kusema tufanye hii, tusifanye hii, lakini sio ya kumanage. Mtakubali wazazi kazi iendelee hivyo? Unajua juzi, nasema hivyo kwa sababu juzi nisikia kiongozi akisema ya kwamba CDF sasa iishe ipelekewe magavana. Nyinyi mtakubali CDF ipelekewe magavana? Si gavana akona kazi yake ya kufanya kule, yeye atulipie madawa, atupeleke tengenezee mahospitali, lakini kazi ya masomo, kazi ya security, hiyo tuachiwe sisi. Tuko kwa national government, tusukumane nayo.
Yakitestai ko kanyor kanetishet nebo betusiek somok bogolusiekab kwonyik eng county nebo Narok kotinygei ak tetutik chebo kirindaetab miondab ukimwi nekikotestai kokon kaimutik cheechen eng county noto ak komoswek alak chebo emoni. Kaindochi kanetishonoto kibagengeit nebo National Syndemic Disease Control Council nekamwa kole tindoi mionoto bo ukimwi biik chesire 15,000 eng county noto bo Narok. Kamwa programs officer nebo kibagengeinata Nixon Chepkwony kole magat kotuyogei stakeholders tugul asikosulda boriet neketokyin letaetabkei nebo mionoto bo ukimwi eng county nebo Narok ak emet komugul.
We are here in Narok today basically because in a population of over 1.3 million, over 15,000 people are living with HIV. And every year we are getting around 399 new infections, which is really alarming. Secondly, when it comes to mother-to-child transmission, we are at 15%, which is very high. And the country target is to have less than 5. So we are, even though there is an improvement from where it was before, it is not good enough to say that we are now safe in terms of prevention of mother-to-child transmission. Now, the reason as to why we are here today is because as National Syndemic Disease Control Council, we recognize that women in leadership can play a big role in addressing some of the predisposing factors to syndemic diseases. One of them is the retrogressive cultural practices, which are very common in the communities living in Narok. We know in Narok we still have female genital mutilation, which is a factor in the spread of new HIV. We still have sexual gender-based violence. We still have marriage of children who are below the age of 18. All these factors work together to compromise the health of children and especially women and girls. And therefore today we were doing the final sensitization of women who are in leadership, and the leadership that we are talking about is the local leadership. If, for example, we have mothers who are in business of selling the popularly known as mamambogas, we have got the leaders at that level. So those are the kind of leaders we are targeting because they have got an influence in their fellow mothers and girls. And more so, they also have influence in the community and also in challenging some of the cultural practices that may be working against the mothers and girls in the county. One of the questions that we got during the sensitization of these mothers was whether there is still medication for the treatment of HIV. This is based on what happened to the funding that we normally received from PEPFAR and throughout agencies from the US government. And for now, we know we have treatment, we have drugs for people who are living with HIV. So currently, we have not experienced any shortage of ARVs in terms of not only in Narok, but all over. So we are giving an assurance that anybody who is on treatment should always go for their medicine, whatever they need. Unless you are told it is not there, and nobody has told us that there is no medicine. Medicines are there. What we are saying is, as we struggle with maintaining people on treatment, we need to struggle to reduce the number of new infections so that we can be able to manage those who are on treatment already. Because if we continue adding new infections into the community, chances are we may not be able to deal with very high people living with HIV in the future. So prevention is the way to go, and we are trying to employ all possible ways of sensitizing the community so that we can be able to reduce new infections. We are also talking seriously about the relationship between malaria and HIV, the relationship between tuberculosis and HIV, the relationship between sexually transmitted infections and HIV, so that we can be able to address all of them as one and be able to utilize the resources that we have more effectively.
Eng komasta age ko tesetai benkitab NCBA kokochin toretet mung'aroshek che mengechen che nootin kou SMEs asikokimekitu ako boroitu ole koikoch konetishet chemung'arainik chesire 1,000 eng county nebo Migori kotinygei ak konoret ak boishetab chepkondok asikomuch kotelelji ak kondochi mung'aroshekwai komie kosubkei ak Acting Director nebo Retail Banking eng NCBA Dennis Njau kotindoi maket benkitab NCBA nebo kotoret chemung'arainik eng kanaptaetab mung'aroshek asikotoret eng kakimitetab uchumi ak bandab tai nebo emet. Eng komastanyi kokamwa Deputy Governor nebo county inoto bo Migori Dr. Joseph Maire kole chobot serikalitab Migori kobois ak NCBA ak benkishek alak koboto benkishek alak chebo bandab tai eng kakimitetab sekta nebo mung'aret, ng'alek che kaikoch kosubet CEC nebo mung'aret eng serikalitab county nebo Migori Dr. Betty Samburu nekamwa kole tesetai kokochin kamuget chemung'arainik asikoityi bandab tai.
The main challenge or I can start of the recent one is about the registration of businesses. And when the businesses are not registered, it is not easy for them to do banking or borrow money for courtesy of their business. And the most affected area is the mining sector. Most of the miners are not registered business people, so they are not able to do the banking and also get to the banking services because of that limitation. And the other challenge which we are getting now is also the organized groups. Some of them, they have not been organized or registered as a group which can be able to get money from the banks. What we are doing as a county is to registering and making this group into cooperative societies. These are registered groups under Cooperative Society of Kenya, and now they can be able to transact business with the banks because they are legally registered groups.
We have recently, His Excellency the Governor, together with his Deputy Governor, whom we are with here, has provided the border groups with some economic empowerment money. And we realized that some of these groups, the truth is that they are not registered down to SACCOs. As a department which is charged with the registration of SACCOs, we have mobilized SACCOs, like we have SACCOs per sub-county. We have managed to register out of the 8-10 sub-counties we have registered 7, and we are yet to do 3 which are almost registering. And the other thing is we are also looking to partner with banks like NCBA and others to offer financial literacy, because that is from our public participation with the public and the members. We found that is the biggest challenge where members get money. In fact, I'm aware of one box which was stolen last Sunday. So they keep money within the house instead of banking it. And that is where we are looking forward so that we can get some finances. We train those groups, but we are happy that we have managed to put many, because one condition in the policy was that any group which was receiving the grant had to have a bank account.
We, over the last 5 years, have been under our carefully executed strategic expansion to be able to serve the country in as a whole. And we do so because people do businesses across different counties and do need beyond. Migori was absolutely a very natural choice to be at. If you think about agriculture, if you think about mining, if you think about trades, you think about us and almost at the border between us and our neighbors out here, it was an absolutely natural choice. And I'm truly grateful, reflecting over the last 2 years, that we have been absolutely warmly received. In fact, as we sit right next here with the Deputy Governor, I want to indeed convey my gratitude, because what the county has done is to give us such an enabling environment for us to be able to do business. It has enabled us to truly live to our call and mission of transforming businesses and empowering them out.
Kotesetai koitun tetutiet nebo Kass Mashinani nebo rani kosomok kasi kongete Kass TV ko kounoto kongebe kamung'et kitigin asiyekiwege ketestai ak tetutiet noto nebo Kass Mashinani nebo betutab rani.